Madam President, I rise today to call for immediate action on the American Miners Act. We have an obligation to the coal miners across America who served our nation by providing us with energy through our greatest advancements. They deserve to know that their pensions, which they rightfully work for, will be funded fully, and they deserve to have acceptable health care, which was guaranteed to them all, and they paid for it. As the Senate fails to act, we continue to put our retired miners' health care and pension benefits in jeopardy yet again. I've been working with everyone and from every angle in order to prevent our miners from losing their health care and retirement benefits. But once again, they are facing a deadline that puts their whole livelihood at risk. This has been a long fight, and it is far from over. Everyone, and I mean everyone, who has joined me in this journey understands the fighting, what they're fighting for, the working people, and that's what we were sent here to do. These retired miners are walking the halls and fighting for what is rightfully theirs. I'm doing this for them. I promise them that this body will not abandon them. I refuse to let them down. The 1974 pension plan will be insolvent by 2022 if we do not act now. Miners who received their health care through companies who went bankrupt in 2018 are at risk of losing their coverage in coming months if we fail to act soon. Unlike many other public-private pension plans, the 1974 pension plan was well managed and 94% funded prior to the crash of 2008. However, the 2008 financial crisis hit at a time when the plan had its highest payment obligations because of retirees. If the plan becomes insolvent, these beneficiaries face benefit cuts, and the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation will assume billions of dollars of liabilities. To shore up the 1974 pension plan, which is headed for insolvency due to coal company bankruptcies and the 2008 financial crisis, to ensure that the miners who are at risk are due to 2018 coal company bankruptcies will not lose their health care, extend the Black Lung Disability Trust Fund tax to $1.10 per ton of underground mine coal and 55 cents per ton of surface mine coal for 10 years. West Virginia has more retired union miners than any other state. More than 27,000 retirees live in West Virginia alone. Most of these now who are receiving these pensions are widows. These widows basically, it's a family affair when mining and someone in the family mines, but their average pension is less than $600 a month, less than $600. They've worked for it, their husbands worked for it, they've been counting on that. It's basically a lifeline for them. And because of because of the bankruptcies that have allowed companies to walk away from their legacy costs and leave them with nothing after they have negotiated and did not take home to pay to take care of this themselves, leaves them in a very vulnerable position, which we should never have let happen. I have a letter from a retired coal miner to read to you today, and I think it kind of puts things in perspective. This is Delbert from West Virginia, who was a miner for 35 years. He said, "To the members of the Senate and House months ago, I walked the corridors of Washington, D.C., asking many members of Congress for your help. I spoke with Mitch McConnell and bled my heart out to him, how this was not only the right thing to do, but it was also a matter of life and death to many thousands of coal miners. If this letter is read on the Senate and House floors, I plead with each and every one of you to search your hearts and souls today. Close your eyes and imagine giving your youth and your entire working life to the coal industry, and the only promises you were given was a small retirement check and medical insurance. I know a favorable ruling for these miners will cost the taxpayers nothing. It will not lead to an increase in a deficit. I realize all we are asking for is the interest earned off the unused reclamation fund. Most coal companies are even on board with this. These miners have black lung. Many have to use oxygen 24 hours a day. Many have to use wheelchairs, walkers, and cranes. Their bodies are broken. Please don't break their hearts, spirits, and souls also. Please save their lives and pass this bill today." He's a proud veteran of the Vietnam War, a proud coal miner, and a proud American. Please don't say no to these deserving miners and their spouses. Let me give it to you in a nutshell what they're asking for. In 1946, Harry Truman, the Klug-Rubin Act, which was John L. Lewis, they signed and said that the miners had to work for our industry and our economy to keep moving forward. with that, it was so, up until that time, they had no pensions, no retirement. And from that day forward, they said that every ton of coal that would be mined, there would be a certain set aside from the price of that coal that would go into their pension and retirement, because it's such an important industry and it's such an important commodity to the economy of our great country. And after the World War II, they could not let our economy fail and have miners on strike, and they couldn't take care of themselves. So this is how we've got this bill guaranteeing by the federal government that they would be taken care of. It's not that the federal taxpayers or the government was going to pay for it. It's that basically, through what they were working, the product they were mining, and the product that was being sold, gave them basically the resources to take care of their retirement and pension. Somebody got this money when there was a bankruptcy, and it wasn't the people that worked for it. And the bankruptcy laws in this country are so messed up that it doesn't give the human being, it doesn't give the worker who basically worked for this and didn't take money home to their families because it was based in their retirement and pension plan, and then all of a sudden, that's gone. And everybody, all the financial institutions line up first. It's not the working person that's in the front line. They're on the back of the line and get nothing. That's what we're trying to change here. We're trying to make sure that the people have given everything they have for this great country. They're patriotic, they fought in the wars, they mined the coal that basically built America, and now we're about ready to let them go down. And we had this bill fixed 3 years ago. If I could have got Majority Leader McConnell to let both the pension and the health care, but they separated it. We got the health care done for a certain portion of those people and not the pension plan. And if there's one bankruptcy between now and 2022, this whole thing collapses immediately. And on the other hand, the guaranteed fund that the federal government does pay for will be taxed, it'll be hit hard, and it could break it. So we're looming, we have a crisis looming. We can avoid it, or basically we can allow it to just happen like we do so many things around here. And why this has become a political fight, this shouldn't, because we had bipartisan support. We had almost every member on the Finance Committee in both parties, Democrats and Republicans, supported it. And then it never made it past the person who's responsible for putting it on the floor. We had to make a deal there. So I would hope that all my colleagues would consider the people, consider the widows, consider the $600 pension that means a difference between having a life and basically worrying from day to day where they're going to have food or have their medical cares or whatever they need. These are not extravagant, they're not high, these pensions. These pensions are necessities, and it's something that's needed. So I would implore all my colleagues to look at this very hard and try to get this on the NDAA. I think it's something that we all should be fighting for, and these are for the people that fought for us and gave us the quality of life we have and a great country that we have.